Speaking of John Wall and Kristaps Porzingis potentially, Rockets say they want to move on from John Wall, and they want to work with him
to try to find
a good
trade
suitor.
Partner.
Yep.
Right?
How?
I don't know. So we talked about this a little bit on I called you on my ride home, and there's really very few contracts that kind of like match up with John Wall's $44.8 million or whatever. And one of those is Kristaps Porzingis. So I'm not sure if Rockets would have to give up something or if Dallas would have to give up something, but just a 1-for-1 swap. Dallas, you're getting out of the Kristaps Porzingis contract for 3 or 4 years, depending on how much is left. And then you just have the John Wall, which has 1 year, and then a player option, which he more than likely is going to opt into.
Right.
Because why wouldn't you want to just sit on the bench and collect $45 million? So
Chris Paul opted out of his, and then he got paid. So,
yeah, I don't know if
I would assume John Wall would opt in, but if he didn't, then the Mavericks would opt. If they could guarantee John Wall won't opt in, maybe they get a restructure where Rockets pay off that part of that last year, and then John Wall just decides, okay, that payoff of partial last year to make me a free agent after next year is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe that works. Otherwise, if I'm the Mavericks, you might as well take your 20 games of Kristaps.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I can't really think of any other players that could add up to his level of contract. You could try to find a team that currently has like 9 players on the roster.
So like I know a lot of people. The first thought of people is like, oh, Ben Simmons, but you're Houston. You're trying to rebuild. You're not going to include John Wall in a trade and then include your assets to get Ben Simmons. You're not going to do that.
And as the Sixers, you don't want John Wall.
Exactly.
And that's the whole issue. Is like you want to find a suitor for him, but you can't really send him to a contender because a contender doesn't want to give you the pieces it would require to add up to that contract.
That's why Dallas makes sense for me. They don't want Kristaps.
But then again, with Luka having the second highest usage rate last year, which means he has the ball all the time, John Wall would have to be like a slashing 2 guard, or he'd come off the bench.
Yeah, and John Wall's defense was good when he was at his peak. So maybe they need some more.
Mavericks do want defense, and I'm sure John Wall would add to that, but I just feel like that John Wall still doesn't fit that team with the usage rate of...
Right. You got to get Tim Hardaway Jr. his shots, too.
Exactly. So I think John Wall's going to be difficult to move in general. If he wants to go somewhere specific, he's going to have to give up money. I'm going to assume they're going to have to restructure before the deal goes through, agree to restructure the contract. Houston will have to agree to pay like $10 million of next year, or that instead of that option, he's gonna have to swallow 20 of that, and then maybe the team that he's trading to will pay the last $10 million of that option. So he ends up getting half of what he would normally have gotten for that year, but he still gets $40 million. Like he'll have to do something like that, in my opinion.
If he's smart, he's just like, I wouldn't mind being traded to Dallas and then make Houston and Dallas figure it out.
Right. I think if he's smart, trade me to some like a contender. Like, I'll eat all that money, sign for a minimum deal, and send me to the Bucks, send me to the Sixers, send me to the Bull. Like just one of these other. He'd probably be good on the Heat,
Wizards.
Yeah, that's what I said. Send him to the Wizards. But yeah, that's it for our NBA news. Wait, no, we have one more.
One more. The Bleacher.